Hey, what's up everybody? In today's video we're going to answer the question, should you play Star Wars Legion in 2024? The answer might surprise... I'm just kidding. Yes, I think you should. This is my Rebel Force. It's made up of 2 starter sets which I split with my buddy Rick. In addition, it has Cassian Andor as my commander with K2SO as his loyal companion. I have a tournament coming up, so I have been painting these guys on my Monday and Wednesday streams. But back to the question, should you play Star Wars Legion in 2024? I'll break this video down in different categories which can be found as timestamps in the video. Introduction. Star Wars Legion is a tabletop miniatures game published by Atomic Mass Games, formerly Fantasy Flight Games, in which 2 players, each controlling a small army of characters, fighters and vehicles, compete to establish scoreable objectives and bring together characters from the Star Wars movies, TV series, shows, books and even some from the video games. Miniatures. Overall, I love the miniatures that this game offers. Especially now in 2024, there is a lot to choose from. From Darth Vader to Luke Skywalker, from Wookiees, droids, clones, Mandalorians, even Ewoks are in the game now. I do have to mention the early starter box minis though. I had some problems assembling them, leaving little gaps between the arms and the body. All the expansions I got are made from a harder plastic, which really helps out when assembling. Overall, I really don't want to be a hard ass on their early miniatures, and especially in 2024, I think they're redoing a lot of their old soft plastic models, so yeah, it's only getting better from here. Setting. I mean, it's Star Wars, one of the coolest sci-fi settings around, apart from maybe Mass Effect. By the way, Mass Effect, why is there no miniatures game in your universe yet? Like a skirmish game? Salarians versus Krogans? Turians? Come on, let's make it happen. Within the Star Wars universe though, there is so much to go with since there's so many different timelines and locations to choose from. From the rebel base of Hoth from The Empire Strikes Back, to the tropical beaches of Scarif from Rogue One, the forest of Endor to the deserts of Tatooine. And the game reflects this. There are specific Battle Force boxes for locations and settings to choose what you like. Personally, I don't really like to mix timelines or settings, so I'm building my rebels with a lore-friendly configuration in mind. This works because since the rebel troopers are the little core of my army, any commanders around that dictate the timeline for me. For example, I can just swap out my Cassian Andor with Luke Skywalker. The only thing you might have to think about is how to base your miniatures. I base my rebels with Tatooine in mind, which I kind of regret by now because I want to see Cassian and K2 on the beaches of Scarif. And when I inevitably get some Wookiees or Ewoks, they would kind of feel out of place on Tatooine. I mean, Tauntauns in the desert. I don't know. My solution for this is to have slight variations on the bases, but keep the paint recipe mostly the same. Adding a little tuft goes a long way for a change of scenery. And another option, Rick actually based his Star Wars Legion models on clear acrylic bases. These are available from different kinds of brands, specifically made for Star Wars Legion. Speaking of Rick, last week we got together to play a couple of games in preparation of the tournament that's coming up very, very soon. Which, coincidentally, leads me right into the new subject, gameplay. Star Wars Legion plays out with alternate activations, which means you can actually react to your opponent's actions. In Warhammer 40k you can see half of your army get wiped round 1 or 2, without you being able to do anything about it. In Legion, if that group of stormtroopers is getting a bit too close to killing my Cassian, I can do something about it and get his buddy K2SO in the mix. I feel that it is much more reactive and therefore a lot more fun. And that is not the only thing I like about Legion. The movement rules, for example. There's little to no discussion possible about how far a model can go since it perfectly lines up from the starting location to the end location using these measurement tools. Are you moving an entire squad? Measure from your unit's leader and place the guys around him in unit coherency. This makes movement quick, simple and easy. Same goes for your firing arc of your vehicles. Positioning of your vehicles matters. Oftentimes you can only fire your main gun from the front arc of your vehicle, indicated by the lines on your base. Your vehicle might have a weak spot on the rear or sides, so there's actually real flanking opportunities there. Star Wars Legion uses specialty dice which are included in the core box. 8-sided dice for attack, 6-sided dice for defend. Your chances of rolling hits and crits are separated in 3 colors. White dice, bad. Black dice, good. Red dice, very good. To give some units a bit more chances of success, they might convert the surge results into successful results. My rebel troopers can roll surges for their defend dice, while stormtroopers can roll surges for their attack dice. My rebel ATRT even surges to crit, which has proven to be very powerful. Then the unit cards. I love that these are part of the table and not hidden in a book. And these unit cards are included in the boxes you buy. Take notes, GW. You can see your unit stats at a glance, and the little upgrade cards are the perfect way to know what additional things your unit can do. You want to equip your rebel trooper squad with some grenades or a heavy upgrade? Sure, if there's slots available, go ahead. One of the coolest examples for these cards are with the Rebel Landspeeder. You can actually change who is behind the wheel and this changes up the entire mechanics of the vehicle. I have yet to talk about the command deck, which can drastically change up your game and make for epic moments. Let's talk about those in the next subject. This really seems to be the buzzword for Star Wars Legion, and not without reason. We've already talked about the setting, but the setting means very little if the battles that are fought in them aren't epic. And epic they are. The command cards is what can drastically change up the game and make for cinematic moments. For example, Rick played Vader and uses a command card that made him choke 2 of his own models to buff the entire unit. K2SO's command card Sacrifice will have him take damage and keep Cassian from getting hurt, sacrificing himself in the progress. Lando Calrissian, he has a bunch of different card plays up his sleeves. And it all fits with the heroic Star Wars action you know from the movies. When I first heard about Legion and I saw the miniatures, I was like, but no, Darth Vader doesn't, jump around the battlefield and stuff. No. Well, he doesn't. He slowly marches up to you. He has a movement of 1, making sure his own units don't even think about panicking. The reprogrammed Imperial droid K2SO moves around the battlefield unnoticed until he's been detected within range 1, he attacks or grabs an objective. There's so much more epic moments to be had in this game, but let's find out how accessible it is for you to get into it. And I think the best part about Star Wars Legion is that it is pretty accessible to get into. Everything you need to play your first games with comes in this box, which is around 90 euros. Split this with a friend, learn the game and decide if you like to continue. In this box you'll find everything I just told you about, like specialty dice, measurement tools, upgrade cards, unit cards, command cards, objective cards, barricades for some terrain, and enough miniatures, including a hero and a villain to play a small game against a friend. If you have a little bit more to spend, get 2 of those. You and your friend will both have all the measurement tools, token and dice, and you'll have enough points to play a skirmish game, which is a great starting point. After this, get any specific expansions you like and specialize in what works with them, or go for a specific timeline that you like. I almost forgot to mention that the rules are and probably always will be available for free on the Atomic Mass website. And like I mentioned before, unit cards come with the models you buy, along with some upgrade cards, command cards and some tokens. So when buying a unit you actually get their rules. Wow! As a quick tip, jump into tabletopadmiral.com. This is the main list building tool that many players use. It is free and always updated. Consider donating to this platform, they really do amazing stuff. Conclusion. Star Wars Legion is going to be my big model count wargame of this year. There's lots of good news coming from the intermissions Atomic Mass Games is providing to us every few months, so there's a lot to look forward to. If you love Star Wars and like to get into wargaming, or you want to make the switch from another wargame, this is the game for you. This video has been a long one. I'd really like to know what you think. Do you want to see more Star Wars Legion content, or do you want to see something else? Just use the comment section below, maybe subscribe, and I will see you guys later. I don't like sand.